why Luna and not Villanueva?
Several reasons. 3 years, 11 months, we've seen what Villanueva has done and has not done. We know what kind of sheriff he is. No question about it. Can't get along with anybody. He makes up his own rules. He does his own thing. I've heard from Luna, and many times I made mistakes, right? I could have done things better. These are some of the key things to me. That does he have a perfect background? No. In Long Beach? No. But I also know clergy members and I know community members in Long Beach that I've talked to, and I've done my homework. I did not immediately give my support or endorsement to Luna. It took some time. And in speaking to, people like the Long Beach Ministers Alliance, who said these are the things that he did when he was the chief, the black ministers. Luna's going to acknowledge and has acknowledged that we have deputy gangs. Does Luna have a large learning curve? Does he have a lot to learn? Absolutely. But you know what? He can do it. And we just, this sheriff's department and this community, LA County, is in dire straits with another 4 years of Alex Villanueva.
Now he's going to be treated the same way Jim McDonald was treated, right? So how does an outsider similar to Jim McDonald, coming from the same job that Jim McDonald had previously, how does he be successful in this position?
That's a rough road, and what I think Robert Luna is going to have to do is he's going to have to learn from McDonald's mistakes, and I'm sure he's talked to McDonald, and he's going to have to really vet people that he can trust, that have proven and shown themselves, to be of integrity, to help guide him through this process. So here's one of the things that people don't realize from McDonald was that prior to McDonald, between Bach and McDonald, there was an interim sheriff, a guy by the name of John Scott. And what John Scott did was he calls himself, he retired from the sheriff's department as a chief, and he went to Orange County to be an undersheriff down there. What John Scott did was the exact same thing Paul Tanaka and Baca did. He just did it with different people. Tanaka and Baca were these Region 2 or Central Patrol Division guys, and if you worked some of these hot stations, then you got all the kudos. And it was a good old boys, it was cronyism, right? John Scott wasn't part of that. So when John Scott came in, he pretty much removed all of Paul Tanaka's place, and then he started putting his people in, but just from a different area of the department, right? You see what I mean? So it's the same thing. Are you really, really putting the right people in place? And this is what Jim McDonald walked into. Jim McDonald walked into the bed that was laid for him by John Scott. And he brought in different people. And I think he probably walked in thinking that John Scott put everybody in place for him that he needed to be successful. And I don't necessarily believe that's true, because here you have a lot of people that are just angry. Now they have a chance, but they should have had a chance 4, 5, 6 years ago. Their careers have been, kind of slowed down because of that. So what we keep building upon is cronyism on top of cronyism, just with different people. I think what Robert Luna really has to do is he really has to vet people. What I didn't see Jim McDonald do a lot of, although very nice, very personable, he listened to the people that were already in those upper echelon positions. I would like to see Robert Luna go sit down and talk to the deputies, talk to the sergeants, talk to the lieutenants. And this is one thing I'll end with that was very key to me. Probably one of the best evaluations I ever had was when I was a sergeant. It was the only time it ever happened. I was a sergeant at Sentry Station. And this lieutenant believed, he says, I see you when you bring things to me. You show me your best face. I want the input in your evaluation to be from those who you supervise. And this lieutenant actually went and polled the deputies that worked on my shifts to find out what kind of sergeant I was. And I think that's what we need to do as leaders. We need to stop asking the people who put us in place to evaluate us, and we need to start asking the people that are below us, or at least giving some input on that. And I think that's where you'll really get a fair and objective evaluation on what kind of leader and what kind of integrity and what kind of message a person delivers. So a lot of work for Robert Luna to do. I know he can do it. I have no doubt he can do it. I think no matter what anybody says from these former Long Beach guys, the one thing they don't know is how he's going to be as a sheriff. you know what he did as Long Beach Police, but this is a whole different monster, you know. And I think I think that getting Alex Villanueva out of office is paramount for the betterment of LA County and for the Sheriff's Department.
What's your